there are going to be a whole lot of people that have a whole lot of problems with this Biden Harris ticket. But if you have more problems with this Biden Harris ticket than this current condition that we're in, I'm really questioning your ability to think clearly. And it's just that simple. Like, to me, there is no other choice. If you can call up or you can be somebody right now that is even contemplating pulling a lever for Donald Trump or not voting at all. And all the people mad about, oh, you can't shame me into voting. How mature are you? Like, really? You can't tell me what to do? No, we cannot. But let me just be very clear. I'm going to be fine. Karen Hunter, no matter who's president. I have the ability to leave this country if I want to. I got a viable passport. I have enough money to do whatever I want in terms of leaving or staying. The city that I'm in is black. I got a black mayor, black police force, half the police force I went to school. I'm good. I'm not going to be hemmed up. Like, I'm good. I'm not fighting for me. So if I can say, it matters, and it really doesn't matter to me personally, I don't know what world you're living in right now. There is literally a pandemic that has killed disproportionate number of black people because we have a lack of leadership. Somebody who wants to talk about hydroxychloroquine and putting UV lights up people's asses and drinking Clorox and this thing will go away, wants to send your children back to school. Like, this is for real. Real people are dying. And just because it's not happening to you, wait a while, because Florida and Georgia experienced their record numbers this week because it wasn't happening to them when it was happening to New York and New Jersey and Connecticut. And, it wasn't happening across the country when it was happening to California. Now, Middle America, Kentucky and South Carolina, y'all are now getting hit. It's a real thing. And you don't want to wear a mask. You don't want to stop the flow here. And there's still no cure. And let me tell you something about Russia. Russia just announced that they have a cure. I'm going to tell you this. Either Russia invented COVID, because that's the only way you can have a vaccine right now is that you actually were the progenitor of the disease to begin with, of the virus to begin with. So you already know what you're dealing with because it's novel. No one really knows. It's moving and shaking in different ways unless you invented it, unless you are the progenitor of COVID-19. I can see you having a vaccine right now. Or it's a lie. Either way, I ain't taking it from Russia. You do what you want. That's Trump's friend. Y'all go ahead. So there's a lot happening in the world right now. And I just think that, sitting here litigating somebody's record and their prosecutorial record and what they did in California and who they slept with before that and their white husband and all of that is just a waste of damn time and energy when we need to be focusing on November 3rd, 2020 and making sure that Donald J. Trump is no longer president of these United States, unless you don't care. And I know some of you want to see this country implode. I know a lot of you want to see this country go away. I get that. I get that too. There's a part of me, and I want to say very strong part of me that would love to see Rome fall. But what's the consequence? And what's the fallout? And when it falls, what's going to happen to you? Because they already don't give a damn about us. And if you think a fallen Rome will serve as black people at this point, you clearly aren't a student of history. So I'm gonna leave it to Larry before we welcome in our guests. But I just had to say that because I get the pushback. I'm not sitting here shucking and jiving for this. I'm not a corporate I'm not in bed with the DNC. As a matter of fact, if they don't spend money here, I'm gonna have problems. No money spent on Urban View is disrespectful. Right. He's right. Showing up at Urban View with some bull crap line and disrespecting this audience. I'm going to talk about that because this is the audience that's going to get you elected. So you go spend money with other people who don't vote and trying to chase after the random Trump person or the 53% of white women. You're stupid. Double down on the people who are going to roll up their sleeves, canvass for you, phone call for you, and donate to your campaigns. That's the only way you're going to win in 2020. All right, I'm sorry. I had to get off my soapbox.
No, all of that was needed to be said because at the end of the day, I feel like I said at the end of the day several times today, but at the end of the day, as the caller said, the alternative was to light a fire under her. I would actually say that is option A, light a fire under this ticket. And that's why I said at the beginning, we need to be organizing that. If you have not already been a part of groups that are organizing around what your agenda for the next presidential ticket is going to be, you're late. One, let's just say that because 84 days before the election is not the time to start thinking about these things, but I know this audience we've at least been having some of these conversations, but you need to be connected with groups now. What is your local agenda for Black communities in your area? What is your state agenda for Black communities in your area? How does the federal reality implicate or intersect with that agenda? Because the reality is we are going to have to present what it is that we want. It is very easy. I would say it's easier to say what you don't want, to say what you want Rome to fall. But it is a lot easier to hope for Rome to fall than it is to build what comes after Rome. And for those of us who have not been a part of society building for at least a 400-year period, these are some muscles that we are going to have to exercise in different ways. So we need to have our agenda set. We need to know what is in the purview of the federal government, what is in the purview of the state government, what is handled by your municipality. If you don't know the difference between those two things, I suggest you listen on Sundays at 10 o'clock when we are talking about those things on Sunday Civics. But right now is not the time for the foolishness. It's not time for people to be quibbling about does she have enough drops of Blackness to actually be properly considered Black. I'll put that to the side. We must be cold. I've said this before. We must be cold, calculating, and sophisticated with how we engage with these systems, with how we engage with these campaigns, and with how we set forward about enacting the agenda that we determine is within our best interest. We got a pandemic to recover from, a pandemic that is still in the first wave. So let us be clear about what is at risk. We don't have time for the BS. We just don't.
We do not. We do not.